music is listening.
Hey guys, it's Melissa here, and I'm going to show you guys how I highlight and contour. So right now I have on shadow, eyelashes, eyeliner, eyebrows, and foundation. So I'm halfway done. The next step for me will be to highlight and contour. I'm going to be using two types of concealers, one that is lighter than my skin and one that's darker than my skin. I'm also going to be using and reviewing a new palette that I just purchased from a drugstore. I can't wait to see how it works, and the best part of this palette is the price. So I'll let you guys see if it's even worth it. So stay tuned if you want to learn how to highlight and contour. A concealer of your choice in a shade lighter. So this is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NC45. It's cream based. It's one of my favorite products ever. The next thing I'm going to be using is my contouring color, which is the Black Radiance in the darkest stick foundation. The best thing about this is the consistency and the price. It's only $1.99. So if you guys are looking for a contouring stick, this is the way you should go. They have them at Dwayne Reed and Rite Aid. The brushes you will need is a fluffy brush to wipe off excess setting powder. You will need a contouring brush to buff out the contour, and you will need a concealer brush. You will also need a setting powder. This is the Mercier translucent powder. You would need the MAC Fix Plus. I'm going to show you why you're going to need this at the very end. And you're also going to need a concealer palette of your choice. This is the one that I'll be talking about and using for the first time. This is the True Complexion Contouring Blush by Black Radiance. Alright guys, so first we're going to start off by putting some concealer on our beauty blender. I didn't list a beauty blender before as a material, but yeah, we need a beauty blender. Mine just chopped just like my nails. Don't even look at that right now. So I'm going to use my beauty blender. It's completely soaked in water and it's damp, and this is only this much concealer we're going to be using. So I'm going to go under my eye and dab the concealer. The Pro Longwear is so thick and it's full coverage that one dot should do both sides of my face. So I'm going to apply this in a triangular fashion. Alright, so once that's done, you're going to go back in and put a dab more of the MAC Pro Longwear or your concealer that's in the lighter color. And now we're going to go on our forehead, the bridge of our nose, and around our cupid's bow. Alright, so that's done. 2 pumps of the Pro Longwear has finished my whole highlighting portion. So you want to take your Pro concealer and put it in a safe place because it is glass and they tend to break. Trust me, I've broken a few. Next step we're going to do is we're going to shake up our Mercier translucent powder. Give it a little shake, make sure the powder comes to the top, like so. And then we're going to dip our beauty blender into the Mercier powder and go under our eye in the same triangular fashion. You don't want to blend it out too much. You just want to set it right on top of everything you just did. I don't use too much of the Mercier translucent powder because it is translucent, and for me that means it's white. And if you put too much, you're going to start to look like a ghost. So use put a little bit, especially for us darker skinned women. You don't want to use way too much of this stuff. It works perfect, but too much will make you look like Casper out here in these streets. You won't look like Casper now. So put a little bit on for a little while. Let it, set. Because like I said, I'm oily, so I have to set everything cream or liquid. I have to, or I will melt at the end of the day. I need my makeup to last. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go in with our concealer that is darker than our skin tone. And the places that we're going to be focusing right now is the jawline, like here. So you want to make a short strokes. And for those of you who cannot find your jawline, like I do this all the time so I know where to go, you could do a duck face and you can find the line easily. Now we're going to do the sides of our noses. This is to, create the straightness of your nose, which I don't really see it sometimes. But I'm going to do the other side. And then I'm going to draw into my forehead. Alright, so now that you've put the darker concealer at your jawline, your bridge of your nose, and your forehead, you're going to take your fluffy concealer brush and you're going to buff it out. Buff it out, buff it out, so you don't see any lines of demarcation. That's why I love that concealer stick, because look how easy that was. It didn't take me long to do it at all. So now for the bridge of the nose, I usually have a separate brush for this portion, but God knows where it went. My brushes sometimes grow legs and walk away, but for right now I'm going to just pinch the tip of my brush to create a narrower kind of density into the brush. And go ahead. Alright, so now that that is finished, and you can't really see any more of the translucent powder, but if you do have any excess left over, this is where you take your large fluffy brush and you sweep it away. Alright, so now this is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time to use the contouring palette. So this is the True Complexion Contouring Palette, medium to dark. I can't speak right now. Medium to dark by Black Radiance, and we're gonna open it up. The same brush that you use to buff out your cream concealer, the darker one that you put here, you're gonna dip into the contouring. Slightly dip it in. So let's see how well this works, guys. Remember, it's my first time here with y'all. So let's see. I dipped it into the contouring, and I'm going to set my contour like I set my highlight using that Mercier translucent powder. Alright. Okay. Like what I see. So setting it, and it brought a lot of warmth to my face. I really like that. Yes. So we're gonna do the same thing to the other side. Apply this contouring powder to every place you put the cream concealer that's darker than your skin. This allows it to set and not move anywhere, especially for us oily girls. Now, when applying the powder to the sides of your nose, you want to go ahead and pinch the brush again if you don't have a narrow brush to use. So this is the reason why I have this concealer brush, is because once you apply the contouring powder to the sides of your nose, you start getting this boxy appearance on your nose, like you have a long box line there. So you want to take your concealer brush and you just want to, doesn't have any product on it, and you just want to kind of buff it out a little bit to remove that line of demarcation. And just like that, it's gone. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and use the second part of this palette, which is the sculpt area, which is in this lighter color. So you want to take your concealer brush and just completely submerge the brush into the powder. This part is to go under your contour and kind of create a sharper jawline. People usually put the same concealer they use to highlight under the contour. I don't like to do that because your face start looking all stripy, looking like a zebra. You don't need all that. It's too much for me. You just simply use a little bit of powder that's a little lighter and just add it under. And the great thing about that palette is it comes with it. You don't have to go out and buy something separate. So you can do the same thing to the other side. Bring it up using that sculpt color. Alright, and last but not least, you're going to use the highlight. So now I'm going to use the same brush that I just used the sculpt color from and just put it all over the highlight. And for me, when I put on highlight, I always like to mist my brush with MAC Fix Plus because it creates a more pigmented highlight. The kind of highlight you can see from across the room. Like, that's the kind of highlight I like. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. About 3 pumps. So now you're gonna find where you want to place your highlight. Smile a little bit and just dab it on there. Because like I said, the MAC Fix Plus makes it way more pigmented. So you don't want to get too crazy. And you're gonna use the other side of the brush for that. Just buff that out a little bit. Blend it really deep into your skin. I'm gonna go ahead and get some more of that highlight color. I'm gonna go down my nose. I might keep it though. Add a little bit more over here. Alright guys, so there you have it, how to highlight and contour using 2 different types of concealers and a powder concealer palette. Once again, this palette is by Radiance, True Complexion Contour Palette, and it is in medium to dark, which is great because it's always hard for me to find a dark powder, like a really dark powder to create the contour that I like. And it comes with 3 things, so I really like it. And for $7.99, you can't beat it. Why buy a palette for $50 that does a job when you can get a palette for $7.99 that does the same job? So I'm gonna give you guys a close-up of then I'm gonna put some lipstick on and come right back with the review. So stay tuned, guys.